Oh, no. Quick, the recipe book.
That won't help you now.
Oh, yes, it will. Oh, my trifle. You putrid little pussy. Wait.
There's a BBC Open College book, In the Know, priced at £3.95 and available from bookshops. And the Open College course, The Effective Learner, is available from this address. The Open College, Free Post, P.O. Box 35, Abingdon, OX14 3BR. The price is £9.95. The Money Programme on 2 in about 5 minutes will be asking a key executive at Shell why the company have withdrawn their Formula Shell petrol from the market. Also, a report on how and why companies change their image. Here on 1, in 15 minutes, Cliff Mitchellmore introduces Songs of Praise from St Christopher's Hospice in South London. Now the news at 6:25 with Moira Stewart.
The SDP leaders win their vote to merge with the Liberals. But Dr. Owen claims his supporters could have won the day if they'd tried. The body of newspaper boy Stuart Gough is found. A man is charged with murder. England's group bowlers dance through the wickets in the Sydney Test. And the Princess of Wales meets the Kings of the Surf. Good evening. The Social Democrats meeting in Sheffield have voted for merger with the Liberals. The SDP leadership said the vote in favour was even bigger than they'd expected. But opponents of merger claimed they could have blocked a two-thirds majority if they'd tried to. The vote itself was 273 in favour with only 28 against. But 49 others abstained, and at least 60 decided not to vote at all. We've two reports from Sheffield. First, our political correspondent John Sargent on the speeches and the vote.
The debate had been passionate.
And let us show a greater feeling for the realities of politics, for our ability to put the divisions behind us and to go forward offering them an effective choice, which unless we seize this historic moment, we will lose and lose for a generation.
But for some, the divisions were too deep. The bitterness too great.
I, and I think many other people, would have grave difficulty in joining a political party whose leaders endorsed one set of policy priorities on one day and then with equal enthusiasm 5 days later endorsed a totally different set of policy views.
The SDP leader referred grimly to an earlier remark that the parties had to come together to break the system.
Friends, we are pretty close to seeing the system break us. That is why we must come together.
When the vote was first called on a show of hands, the strength of the majority was obvious.
Those against, please show.
But when the ballot papers had been collected, Dr. Owen's supporters claimed that if they had decided to take part, they could have blocked the merger. In the hall, though, the mood was triumphant.
And that constitutes 80% in favour of all those who took part in the ballot.
Afterwards, Mr. McLennan admitted that the debate had been painful. Both he and Dr. Owen are under no illusions about the difficulties that lie ahead.
This battle's not over, it's only just begun. With the two sides lobbing statistics at each other like Great War artillery commanders, the struggle for members and seats will be corrosive. Robert McLennan is sceptical about David Owen's threat to fight the merged party.
I think with such a poor support as that David has attracted in the last couple of days, it's pretty questionable whether he's really going to be in a position to mount any sort of national campaign or need even a very substantial local campaign. I'm afraid, however splendid his isolation, it is not a rosy future for him.
David Owen's rally last night horrified the Democrats. That's the likely popular title for the new party. They saw in it a streak of Caesarism, and one warned that British politics couldn't be changed by hero worship. But with the alliance trailing at 12% in a newspaper poll today, Dr. Owen believes repair work is needed.
Already on the ground, people are working together and establishing working arrangements so that we don't fight each other, which is foolish under our system. But it will take time, and I don't think you'll see any national arrangements for some years yet. I think it will take probably a couple of years till the dust settles.
The unedifying spectacle of Social Democrats of both factions giving opposing speakers the bird has disfigured this last sad conference of a party that began in such hope. One speaker warned them, "One day we'll need each other again." Unless the two groups do get an electoral pact, they'll destroy each other. That pact won't be easy to reach. But David Steele at least was cheerful.
The tremendous sense of public goodwill for us to succeed in this, and the sense of dismay when we looked like faltering, as we did at several points during the negotiations and in the last couple of weeks, has come across very clearly to those of us involved in it. And I think that as soon as the public see the party launched, on its way, making its policies, holding its first conference, electing its leader, then I think there will be a real sense of excitement and interest among the public as well.
The timetable for the merger now looks like this. Next month there will be postal ballots of all members of both parties. A simple majority will be enough. The following month, assuming the vote goes in favour, the new party will be formally launched. In May it will fight its first battles in the local council elections. Then comes the chance to elect a new leader, although this may be postponed until September and the first party conference. A man's been charged with murdering Stuart Gough, the newspaper boy who went missing on his round 2 weeks ago. Victor Miller, a 32-year-old computer operator from Wolverhampton, will appear in court tomorrow. He's also charged with abducting and threatening to kill another teenager. Stuart's body was found in Bromsbarrow near Ledbury. He disappeared from his home village of Hagley in Worcestershire.
Police found Stuart's body in isolated countryside on the Herefordshire-Gloucestershire border 40 miles from his home. It ended a search which had lasted 2 weeks and involved hundreds of police and local people. The rector of Stuart's local church broke the news to his parents that his body had been found. He said more than anything it was a relief.
A relief that the anxiety is over, the not knowing is over, and a relief that they know where Stuart is and that he is going to be returned to them.
This morning, the newsagent Stuart worked for when he disappeared was doing his own deliveries because teenagers have told him they're too frightened to do their rounds. This afternoon, West Mercia police announced they'd charged a man with Stuart's abduction and murder. During a news conference in the community centre, they said he'd appear in court in the morning.
Armed police have recaptured one of the prisoners who escaped in last month's helicopter jailbreak. In an early morning raid on a London flat, they arrested 3 people, including John Kendall, who'd been serving 8 years for burglary in Gartree Top Security Prison. Mike Smart reports.
Videoed by prison security at the time, Kendall and Draper escaped from Gartree's sports field in a helicopter hijacked by an accomplice. They split up soon afterwards and disappeared. But in the last few days, Scotland Yard detectives started keeping a close watch on these prestigious Chelsea flats. At 3 o'clock this morning, armed officers moved in, swarming over gardens and roofs and breaking down the door to a second-floor apartment. It seems that those inside were arrested without offering resistance.
No, there was no evidence of it, no shouting back or certainly no gunfire of any sort. The police obviously were concerned that there might be. But I understand that they just then came quietly and were told to leave the flat and left in the way they were told to.
Neighbours say 2 men and a woman had been living quietly in the rented flat for 2 weeks. One of the men seemed keen not to be recognised.
I said hello, and he looked down. You know, he was very shy, I thought. He never answered back. I said hello, like normal, and...
But now you think it may be because he didn't want to be recognised?
Yeah, well, now, yeah, of course, I realise that now.
Murderer Sidney Draper, the other escaper, still hasn't been seen, and as the hunt continues for him, John Kendall tonight arrived back at a Leicestershire police station near Gartree Prison.
Talks have been going on all afternoon to try to avert a pay strike by more than 30,000 Ford workers. If they fail, the company's first national stoppage for 10 years will start at midnight.
A group of shop floor workers demonstrated outside the meeting, urging union leaders to hold firm. But it was the union side which sought these talks, and one of their main negotiators thought there was scope for a deal, even at this late stage.
It'll depend on how realistic the company is. We are hoping for a negotiated settlement. We've indicated our position. We don't wish a confrontation, but unless the company significantly moves, we're collision bound. I hope it doesn't happen.
The unions aren't convinced that Ford's pay offer tied to changes in working practices really is final. But time for compromise is running out fast, with the strike due to start in 6 hours.
In the fourth round of the FA Cup, the league leaders Liverpool have beaten the second division leaders Aston Villa. Their second half goals came from Barnes and Beardsley. England are in a commanding position in the bicentennial test in Sydney. When bad light stopped play early on the third day, Australia were 164 for 7, needing 62 to avoid the follow-on. Rob Bonnet reports.
Australia needed a long, punishing day at the crease to force their draw. Instead, England struck early. Boone, the first of 3 catches for wicketkeeper French in Foster's second over of the day. Capel's success was even more immediate. His first over saw off Marsh. Next, a rash stroke from the captain to make it 34 for 3.
And Border has gone.
Border's pre-match confidence in shreds. After lunch, Hemmings dismissed Valletta. Adjudged caught off his glove by Embury. Jones went the same way for 56.
Shouts of catch it there, and Tony Crafter wasn't in much doubt.
116 for 5. Gatting's captaincy, always shrewd, was then inspired. The first ball of Dilly's new spell accounted for Ward.
He's got him, he's out, caught behind.
And finally Dyer, LBW for naught.
Still in Australia, the Princess of Wales went to the beach today and met the kings of the Australian surf. Hundreds of lifeguards turned up at a beach carnival in New South Wales to take part in a race named after the princess.
Paradise for many here is bobbing about in a boat. So the royal couple joined the seaborne throng today, heading north for the golden sands of Terrigal Beach. Surf festivals are 10 a penny on the Pacific coast, but today was billed as a royal surf carnival, and the princess came here in a playful mood. The surfers call them Chucky and Di. The suntanned prince, refreshed by his morning swim, wore a tie. There was a short hiatus when the official vehicle got stuck in the sand trying to leave the beach. Then the lifeguard team strutted past. In the 80 years since the lifeguard system started, over 300,000 swimmers have been rescued. These were the most spectacular races, and the surf grew bigger as the hours passed. It was a typical test of strength and endurance. The princess presented the prizes in a swimming and surf canoe race named after herself, and she posed briefly on the beach with the brawny winners.
That's it for now. The main news on BBC1 tonight is at 9 o'clock.
Hello, this is turning out to be a major feature indeed. As it gathers its strength, it's a major deep low now. It's going to move northeastward across the country in the next 24 hours, bringing gales to many places, storm force winds to parts of the south, heavy rain, and over high ground there'll be some snow as well. Let's take a closer look at that low as it comes across the country. That's it by midnight. Already the winds picking up by 6 in the morning. Those are the mean wind speeds over the country. Gales in many places, storm force damaging winds in parts of the southwest by that time, and gusts in excess of 60 miles an hour in many parts of the southwest. By midday, those storm force winds extending eastwards across southern districts. Severe gales in many places, less windy in the middle, but gales in the far north as well. Those are the mean winds. A very windy day indeed, especially for southern and the far north of Britain as well. That's the position in 1800, moving off into the North Sea there, but still very windy, even then, over southern parts of Britain. Tonight, rain, heavy rain moving northwards, some snow anywhere from the Cardigan Bay to Essex northwards, and some quite heavy snow, we think, in Scotland as we go through the night, but mainly on the higher ground. Tomorrow, a very showery, a very windy day, but let me finish up with a summary, a windy summary of tomorrow's weather.
Sunday evening on BBC One at 7:15, there's an unusual addition to the practice in All Creatures Great and Small.
Who is this? That's Hector. Hector. Very charming. And what precisely is Hector doing here?
At 8:10 in Whicker's World, Alan meets some magnificent marsupials.
To be brutally frank, they're incredibly cute, but they don't have a lot of personality, do they really?
No, I must agree with you, they don't.
Beautiful but dumb.
At 9:15, after the news, That's Life features the vivacious Basil.
Hello? Hello?
International Snooker at 10 o'clock covers the last session of the final from Wembley. Every Man at 10:30 celebrates the art of stained glass windows, still a source of inspiration to the craftsmen of today. At 11:20, David Icke will be talking to the winner of the final in International Snooker, and Network East is at 12:15. Programmes for Sunday evening on BBC One.
Now on BBC One, Cliff Mitchellmore introduces Songs of Praise.
21 years ago, Dame Cicely Saunders founded this very special hospital in southeast London to care for and improve the quality of life of people who are terminally ill. In this Songs of Praise, we celebrate the work of St. Christopher's Hospice. St. Christopher's Hospice is a centre for people who need special medical and nursing care that can't easily be provided elsewhere. Most, though not all who come here, are dying of cancer. St. Christopher's is much more than just an inpatient hospital. There's a home care scheme and a centre devoted to research and teaching about ways of caring for the dying and their relatives.
Keep watch, dear Lord, with those who work or watch.
Religion is an important part of life here. Each day begins and ends with prayers on the ward. It's a Christian community, though people are welcome from any faith or with no faith at all. Here, medical skill combines with human love and the illumination of faith to bring light into the shadow of death. The word hospice has come to mean a resting place for travellers. St. Christopher's is named after the patron saint of travellers. It's a reminder that death is part of our journey through life. And perhaps it also reminds the hospice community that it too is a traveller, sharing part of that journey with each patient that comes here. The traveller is the theme of our first hymn, which is sung by local choirs and congregations who joined with friends and staff from the hospice in St. George's Church, Beckenham. And our first hymn is "Guide Me, O Thou Great Redeemer." Dame Cicely Saunders, who founded St Christopher's, is now its chairman.
We seek to welcome patients and their families who are struggling with mortal illness, to help them to realize the full potential of this part of their lives and to find their own strengths and their own way of wanting to use